guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would do the ultimate summer smoky makeup look and outfit. I absolutely love this look. It isn't typical for me to do a super smoky look, but a lot of you guys wanted to see either a smoky eye or you guys wanted to see more dark smoky looks after my last kind of darker makeup look. I absolutely love this look, and I think it goes perfectly with the outfit if you guys are going out on a summer night, or if you just want to wear this in the day. It's really up to you and what kind of makeup you guys like. So the first thing I'm going to be using is the MERCIER Radiance Primer. It's one of my favorite primers, especially for the summer, just because it does give your skin a little bit of a glow. The next thing I'm going to be using is the Too Faced Foundation in Natural Beige. Probably a pump of that and a third of a pump of the shade Caramel. It is darker than my body because I did self-tan. I've been in my house for probably like a straight week doing 12 hours of pre-calculus every day just to finish my online course. So I hadn't seen sun in forever, so I was like, it's probably time to self-tan. So I self-tanned, and that's why my foundation is so much darker. The next thing I'm going to be using is the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is in the shade Custard. After my last video, the Insta Baddie video, you guys all recommended this one as well as the Maybelline one, and I believe the Too Faced one. I was about to buy the Too Faced one as well, but I was like, no, Tiana, we are sticking to one today. But I definitely want to try the Too Faced one and definitely the Maybelline one, just because if the Maybelline one works out really well, it's also really cheap. So that's definitely next on my buy list. So I use these concealers from PERSICO. I just blend them together to get the right shade, and I cover any blemishes on my face with this, just because if I use the concealer I used under my eyes, it would be too light for the rest of my face. After that, I'm using the MERCIER Translucent Setting Powder. I absolutely love this powder. As you guys know, I use it every single day. It just really sets the under eyes really well to make sure there's no creasing at all. I wouldn't say I do extreme baking as much as a lot of other people do. I don't leave a lot of product behind, but I do brush off any excess if there is any, and I put this anywhere I put concealer. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you guys have probably noticed, I already had my eyebrows done before this. I always usually do my eyebrows in my makeup tutorials, but I am working on an in-depth tutorial for you guys, so I just thought I might as well save time this time and do them beforehand. This is the Maybelline powder, and I'm just using that to set the rest of my face. I'm lightly dusting on my face. It may look like I'm using a lot of powder, but just remember I'm using a tiny bit of all of it, if that makes sense. So this is also a new product. This one is from Sigma. It's in the Saddle Bronzer. I believe it's a bronzer. I don't know if it said bronzer on the back, but it should be a bronzer. It is a little more, I want to say red toned even. When I put it on, I can tell it was not as neutral as the Hoola bronzer, but I still did really like it. It worked well for me, and I'm just using that to contour and bronze my face. So I'm just putting it to contour my cheeks, also my forehead and my jawline, and I also used it to contour my nose. And I'm taking that MERCIER Translucent Setting Powder again. I go on the sides of my nose below the bronzer that I contoured, and also on the tops of my nose, just to clean up any areas if I went too far down with that bronzer, just to make sure it actually looks like your nose is contoured and not just two thick lines beside your nose. I'm also using the translucent powder to clean up my contour. So I'm putting it under the contour, and at first it's really sharp. And I just let it sit for a bit, and then later I'll show you that I brush it off. So I let it sit there just to clean it up, and then I kind of blend it all together after. This is the BECCA JACLYN Hill Face Palette. I'm taking these two shades I showed you guys for blush, and I'm just putting that on my cheeks. I love blush, so I always maybe go overboard with blush, but it's up to you guys how much blush you guys want to wear. And then I'm taking the Champagne Pop from the face palette from Jaclyn Hill, and I'm putting that on the highest points of my face, so cheekbone, under my brow, a tiny bit above my brow, corners of my eyes, my nose, top of my lips, and then same on the other side of my face. So here I'm just showing you guys that I'm blending out that translucent powder now, and it's, as you can see, it kind of just cleaned up my contour, but now just blending it all together to make it look more natural in a sense. So this is the Tarte In the Bloom eyeshadow palette. This is the first I actually even looked at it, and I loved it. This palette is amazing. I'm taking first the shade I showed you guys as the transition color. It's more of a very skin tone color, so it's just going to really help colors blend. So the next shade we're going to be using is right next to the shade that we just used. This is more of a light brown, so this one you can see in my crease. Again, it is just like another transition shade, and it makes it easier for blending to come. The next shade I'm going to be using is more of this medium brown. It's kind of a medium brown with a tiny bit of, I want to say, like a little bit of purpley red in it. I'm putting this in my crease with a smaller blending brush, and I'm going to be kind of heavily putting it in. I'm going to be blending it out with an actual blending brush that I was using before. I want this look to be super, super blended and smoky. I'm also going to be taking this color more in the inner thirds of my crease as well. I usually keep it out in the outer thirds, but since this look is going to be very smoky, I'm going to be taking it in as well. I'm going to be taking that second transition shade that we used just to blend everything out. I find this just works to blend darker colors out if you use the transition shade with it. Now I'm going to be using one of the darker shades in the palette. It's kind of like a purpley cranberry color. I'm going to be taking that on the outer thirds of my eye, a little bit on my lash line, and I'm going to be pulling that out. I'm just going to be constantly putting it on and blending it out and continuously be doing that. I'm also going to be taking this kind of in the inner thirds of my eyes again just to make it really smoky. Next, I'm going to be just using whatever I had left on that smaller blending brush that we used to apply the darker color in my crease. And I'm going to be putting that on my lower lash line. This is going to be a more blended out lower lash line than I usually do, just because I do want it to be quite smoky. And also I'm going to be taking my beauty blender. There is no added product onto this, but it's just leftover product from when I did my foundation, and I'm just going to be cleaning up just the tiniest bit. You don't want to pull too hard to actually take your makeup off, but kind of just dab and take away any eyeshadow just to make that line a little bit sharper. Next, I'm going to be using the Too Faced glitter glue. I always use this for eyeshadows on my lid. It makes them stay on all day. I'm just applying this just to the center of my eye because I'm making kind of like a halo eye. I just find it looks more smoky when you have darker colors in the inner thirds and not really a lot of shimmer. So I'm going to be taking the color I pointed to, and I'm going to be applying that to the center of my lid and just blending it with the darker colors. Next, I'm going to be taking two of the darkest colors that we used, and I'm just going to be putting that in the inner thirds of my eye, once again just to make it a little more smoky. I'm now going to be using my favorite mascara ever. This is the CoverGirl Lash Blast Waterproof Mascara. I'm going to be curling my eyelashes just the tiniest bit because the eyelashes we are using are quite long, so I don't want my natural lashes to be pushing the fake lashes up any more than they already will be. I absolutely love this mascara. I like the formula, but I always use waterproof mascara since they are oil-based. When you curl your lashes, water-based mascaras, which is just normal mascara, they do make your eyelashes fall because of the water in them. Oil-based mascaras, which are waterproof mascaras, they will keep your eyelashes held all day so they won't get uncurled. This is the Lancome Liquid Art Liner. I'm just lining the tops of my lids, and I'm not going to be winging it out since I do want it to keep it quite smoky, but I'm lining the tops of my lids just so when we put the fake eyelashes on, it blends in nicely. So I'm going to be using these lip products. The first one is MAC Oh Honey Lip Liner. I love this lip liner for any nude lip, and this kind of combination has been almost my everyday lip combo. The lipstick I'm going to be using is from Nars. I believe it's pronounced RAQUEL. I'm not exactly sure. It's like the perfect pinky nude. And the lip gloss is from Anastasia Beverly Hills in Undressed, which looks amazing on top. I usually tend to blend it out just so it's not as pigmented. And this is the final look. So for outfit, oh my god guys. Okay, so this outfit is from Sisters the Label. You guys can use the code TIANA for 50 Australian dollars off everything forever. I'm not getting paid by that code. They were just nice enough to give it to me for you guys, so you guys feel free to use the code if you'd like. I absolutely love this romper. All of their stuff is 100% silk. It is the most beautiful clothing I have ever seen in my life. I wore this to the NYX after party in Vancouver and I just absolutely loved it. But yeah, this is the final look. It's perfect if you guys want to go out in the summer, and I think the outfit and makeup combo is awesome. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more of me, but I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a good one!